Guys, welcome to the Wednesday Cardone University Cardone On Demand Mastermind. This is the Cardone Mastermind call we do every single Wednesday. And we're coming to you live from the 305 right here in Miami. And I want you guys to call in today because what we're going to do is I'm going to handle any type of problems or any type of challenges that you're having in your sales, in your business, in your career. I'm talking emails, cold calls, follow-up strategies. Okay, if you're having trouble in anything that's happening inside your sales process right now, we're going to handle it today. But call in at 305-865-8668, and we are going to handle any challenges, problems you're having. So call 305-865-8668. And so my name's Steve Sprague, guys. I'm going to be able to help you out with Cardone University or Cardone On Demand. Dude, hope you guys are having an unbelievable week. Got a lot going on. It's end of the year, and you're probably trying to figure out a strategy. Look, man, hey, how do I make the end of the year really count? There's a lot of things that are coming up. May cause a lot of noise for me. It may be a great thing, maybe an opportunity to capitalize on a lot of things, or maybe in your industry, there's a lot of noise out there. Santa Claus is there. There's a lot of people who are traveling. They're doing things. Maybe they're not thinking about buying products. So for you in your business, you need to identify, hey, what do I need to be training on right now inside Cardone University? And so what we want to do on this show is be able to help you understand exactly what you need to be on. So guys, once again, call in 305-865-8668. We've already got people calling in. We're definitely going to help them out. So, typically when I start this show off, guys, what I want to talk about, dude, people are winning big time. And so it's important for you to know, hey, who else is winning with this program that I have, and what are they doing to be successful? And so we always like to start with that. I had this group. So we work with this company, brand new company who started working with us, Blue Dog RV, right? So the RV business. So if you have any type of retail business like that, cars, motorcycles, anything where people are walking into the showroom floor, this company is using the Cardone On Demand program to be able to help them out. This guy said, hey, look, our new guy sold 2 RVs in one day. Okay, and this is what he said, which in our industry is a game changer. Okay, this is somebody who brought a new hire in. They had a new person. They put them on our program, the new hire training. And so I want you to think, if you're a new salesperson, if you're a veteran salesperson, hey, look, why is this guy who's new, who doesn't know anything about the business, getting things to happen for him when he is in his sales process? How's he closing deals? How's he building urgency for somebody to buy a monster product like that? 2. They're selling 2 in one day. It's crazy. And so they're using what Grant's teaching you inside Cardone University. It's all inside the sales process. It's all inside the building urgency parts of the program. So I want you to look inside there and call in, and I'm going to help you guys out with any problems you have. So I've got another company. They franchise. It's a big franchise company. They sell the Miracle Ears, right? So this company, they sent us in. They have been on our program for 12 months, okay? They're doing unbelievable. They're up 113% year over year. So, guys, look, people are killing it. They're doing really well, okay? I got a guy in my office right now. His name's Jordan Forney, okay? Now, this guy, when I first started talking to him, this guy was going around. He's a sales guy. He was going business to business, knocking on people's doors, doing crazy stuff just to try to get to him. And he was having challenges, problems, okay? Dude, he started doing so well after he got on the Cardone University program that we freaking hired him ourselves, okay? We noticed, and I said, hey, look, man, we need to get this guy, Jordan Forney, in our office, man. So if you guys ever talk to him, give him a shout out and tell him Steve said he's awesome. So I'm going to take a caller. I'm going to talk to Charlie. He's calling from Colorado, and I'm going to be able to help out Charlie. So if you guys have questions, call in. Charlie, what's happening today?
Hey, Steve. How's it going?
Dude, it's going really good, man. How you doing?
Really good.
Good, man. Hey,
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no problem. Hey, let me ask you this before we get started, before I handle the question that you have. What type of business are you in?
Dude, I cold call for digital marketing companies.
Okay. So do you have your own company, or do you work for a company?
Yeah. So Lead Logica is our company.
Got it. Okay. And what can I help you out with this week?
My question is, so we're getting really good results for our clients, but we're not taking enough action. So my question for you is, how have you been able to stay committed to taking massive amounts of action?
Well, Grant talks a lot about this inside the 10X rule, right? And so, which, you'll find those concepts like peppered throughout the sales training inside of his program. Particularly, they're inside the program's 100 ways to stay motivated and top traits of great salespeople. So these two products right here, now these are just about motivation. So these are a little bit different. Like these aren't strategy, but what I do every single morning is I watch this stuff, man. Motivation's, it's something that you do. It's something that happens. It's something that you've got to do every single day. And so when I take this piece of the program and I just go down in single file and I just keep going back through it because I need to hear a good message every day of why I need to go in and 10X my actions, right? And so I got to keep selling myself on why I'm showing up every single day, right? And so do you do anything like that right now?
I mean, no. Honestly, I'm not in Cardone U every single morning like I should be.
You said you're not on it.
I'm only in it. No, so I'm on the program. I don't go in every morning. I should be doing it though.
Yeah, I mean, look, if it's worth doing, it's definitely worth doing every single day. I'll tell you that you're going to get more out of doing something every single day than if you were just doing it once a week or if you were trying to load up on it. Because really, what you're doing is you're selling yourself short, right? Because what happens is that you're losing the information. You're not retaining it like you should be. And so what you want to do is you want to do a lot of the content in the right sequence. That way you can actually build on what you're learning all the time. And so you want to focus on that every single day. It's not something that you would do once a month. If that's all you're going to use it for, totally fine. You can jump in there. You can find one segment of content that's going to tell you, hey, do this, do that, dude. It'll get you a deal. It's worth the whole thing. But if you're really, interested in taking yourself to the next level, dude, it takes commitment, and it takes learning information like what Grant created inside 100 ways to stay motivated and top traits of great salespeople. That is so you can remind yourself every single day. Like, John, show the screen again because I want to show you what type of segments are inside this program. Okay, now look, great salespeople, they quit thinking about a sale and they start thinking about a business. The next one, great salespeople treat each customer with a high level of customer service. Look, this stuff is simple. But I need to remind myself, look, great salespeople overpromise and overdeliver. Let me ask you, man, every single day when you wake up, you get an objection, you're coming in, you didn't have any sales the next day. How good would it be to have a video like that just to play for you that's quick? It's 1 minute, it's very simple, and it gets you back in the mindset. Like that's what we do this program. This is why we do the program every day, because it gets us back into, hey, where am I going? What am I doing? You ever hear Grant talking about the destination, and it's about where you're going. It's about the journey. It's about where you're actually going. That's why you got to pay attention every day, because you're going to get thrown off on the way there, dude. You're going to get thrown off, and that's what that part of the program's for. So try that out, and give me a call back next week, man, because I want to find out, hey, after 5 days of doing that, if you're working 5 days, how's that affected what you're doing every day?
Okay, absolutely.
Cool. All right, man. Hey, really appreciate you calling in, Charlie. You have an awesome day, dude. And, hey, we're going to take David. He's calling from Pennsylvania. David, how's it going?
Good, man. How you doing?
Dude, I'm doing unbelievable, man. I just want to thank you. I really appreciate you calling in. And what can I help you out with?
Oh, man. Hey, first of all, I want to thank you. I want to thank Grant and Jared. They've changed my life. I listen every day like a crackhead. And I'm just like you. I absolutely have
Crackheads
to make it a point to do it every day. I mean, I wake up feeling like crap, on my way to work, on the way to the first call. I have to get plugged in, or the day is just going to not go anywhere.
Yeah, well, let me ask you this. I mean, before I even answer a question from you, what has that done for you just from where you were before you started doing the training?
Changed my life.
Okay, in what
100%.
ways? In what ways?
Staying motivated. I unfortunately am in a company where I don't sign the checks. I'm an employee.
Okay.
First time in the past 10 years I've been an employee, and I'm surrounded by not so enthusiastic and encouraging people.
Yeah.
And I really can't vent those concerns because I feel like I'm so far above everyone else, not in an egotistical way, but so far above everyone else as far as life planning, staying motivated, trying to help the customers I possibly can. And I really just don't have anyone to bounce those ideas off.
Yeah, well, that's why Grant
So,
built the program, man. That way he could be with you every single day. And so what David's talking about right now is he's saying, hey, look, what I got to do this every single day. This solves the problem that the last guy had, where he's asking, hey, how do you stay motivated every day, man? How do you apply the 10X rule that Grant talks about? And so this guy says, hey, look, I can't do this unless I do it every single day. And the first thing he said that changed for him was just his motivation. You know, so I mean, even if you were just more motivated every day, would you get more done? That's a great question to ask yourself. So, David, what problem can I solve for you today?
again, not to repeat myself, but just, how do I stay motivated and when I'm right now, obviously I'm an employee, but I want bigger things. And when you're an employee, you're kind of capped out, until you, like Grant says, you sell enough that, the income is at the top and you got to end up buying the place. So how do I look to other ventures to take my, income and my fortune to the next level? How do you do that and still maintain, your numbers at your current job, in quotes?
Yeah. How do you keep the main thing the main thing?
Right.
Right. Okay. So inside 100 ways to stay motivated, there's actually something in here that I personally use all the time. So I'll look at this. I'm inside 100 ways to stay motivated. Okay. If you go in here, there's an entire program. There's 8 courses right here that are just on goals. Right. Because that's what you're asking about right now, man. You're like, dude, how do I achieve all my goals when, like I'm doing well at one goal, which is doing well at my main place, but I have all these other goals. How do I get all those to work with me as well? And so that's a great question. That part of the program is going to show you how to do it. And so, like, what other things are you talking about? Like, what other things are you looking to do? Are you trying to do a separate business, or are you trying to get other flows of income from your business? Like, what things are you talking about right now?
Well, for me, of course, I want to focus on what I'm doing right now because it's paying the bills. I want to increase my numbers. I want to do all that. But on the same token, I want to look, I just turned 41 years old, and, I don't want to be doing this for the next 30 years. I want to own the place. I want to take myself to the next level. And Grant's, given me that gift for sure, and Jared and yourself have.
Yep.
I'm just wondering, how do you, I don't want to say branch out of sales. I love sales. I don't work a day in my life. I love it. But taking it to that next level, whether it be real estate or something, how do you get started and still maintain your numbers at your current job?
Yeah, well, increase your numbers, So what I would do is I would work on incremental increases that you could have, right? And so you want to focus on doing that. What I would also do is I would focus on, hey, what position do I want to be at? Do I want to own this place? Start asking, dude, hey, look, my 5-year goal for this company is to be bought into it. Do you have an owner or somebody who you could talk to about that?
I do, but they just want you focused on being a sales rep and creating helping them achieve their dreams instead of my own.
Yeah, so. Perfect. So what I would do is I would ask them this. I would just say, hey, what I'm focused on right now is absolutely crushing it for my position. I am worried about sales. That's why I invested in sales training for myself. Okay, but what I want to know is, aside from doing well at my position, what other things could I be doing to help myself get to that next level, man? They may even have another problem that you could solve for them. That may be something that one of the managers can't handle right now. And so that's what you want to look for. Guys, sell or be sold, right? So you need to sell them on why they need to either, one, get you to the next level, help you get to a management position, become an owner in the company, or they're selling you every single day on why you should just be a salesperson. So that's what you need to do, man. You want to know how you do that? You become more productive, right? You apply the 10X rule. If you're selling 10 times more than anybody else that's in there, how much quicker do you think you're going to move up? How much more do you think they're going to see, like, dude, hey, this guy right here, David, we want him to be a part of our company. We need to make sure that he feels that way. That's where you start getting those increases in position or even buy-in with the company. So that's what I would do, man. I would go to the people and I would ask them, hey, what can I do right now just to help out and move into a different position,
Yeah.
Cool. All right, man. Hey, thanks for calling in, dude. I really appreciate it. And let me know how that goes, man. I'd love to continue to help you out.
Hey, tell Grant and Jared, man, it changed my life. My wife and daughter are on board. We're just a great Cardone family here.
Love it, man. Hey, we love that. We love you and the family. If there's ever anything we can do for you, just let us know, man, because that's, we're trying to help everybody. Anybody else, let us know.
You got it, brother. Thanks.
All right, brother. Take care. All right, man. I got another caller. I got David. He's calling from Orlando. David, how's it going?
Oh, fantastic. How you doing?
Dude, I'm awesome, man. What problem are you having right now in your business that I can help you out with?
All right, so I have the Mastering Objections University,
Okay.
and it's I have purchased also the Mastering Objections workbook and everything that came, anything that Grant has that I can read, I basically have. So, my job is within buying, not necessarily selling. So some of it I'm having a hard time translating from the selling world, giving or taking people's money to giving my own money, and trying to take that the price is a myth, and transferring it over. And I'm not quite understanding how I should do that to be more successful.
Okay, great, excellent. And so, I mean, what's the hardest part about doing that? Like, what challenges do you run into? Are you running into some sort of situation that's stopping you from purchasing, what you want at the price you need it to be?
So what I'm looking at is there are home sellers who are mostly motivated, but they have a vision of how much they want, and most of it, the price of the house is emotional. So when I say that I can offer X dollars for your home, but they're expecting X plus 50,000, how do I make my money seem a lot more when I'm not, the only service I can really offer them is like a quick, expedient quote for the house, and that's not exactly what they're looking for.
Okay, so you're basically purchasing these homes from people. Okay, so you do real estate wholesaling. Is that right?
Yes, correct.
Okay, good. So you're trying to get somebody to sell their home for a little bit cheaper so that you can resell it and make some money off of it. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay, good. And so you're telling me that somebody doesn't want to do that because they've got their mind locked on a specific number. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Good. So what we're doing is we're actually in sales right now. We got to be able to sell somebody on why they would want to do it at a lower price. And so this is what we got to get them off that number. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you this. John, if you go to sales process right here, if you look inside sales process, that's what this entire part of the program is about. And so, now we got to go into this. Now we got to do this part of it, David. So we got to ask you, okay, well, why are you looking to sell the home right now? I mean, why now? Why would you consider this? And so when we go into that, that's all the fact finding. I got to understand like what's somebody's dominant buying motive. And this is what Grant's talking about. Look, people, otherwise they would just hold out on that number forever, but they don't. They never do. How many homes have you sold like this?
What you mean, purchase?
Yeah.
Oh, I have about 4. So.
Okay. Yeah, well, I know a ton of people in this business, so this is happening all the time, right? And so I always ask them, I'm like, well, how many times have you done this? And they're like, oh, well, we do 30 a year. Okay, good, man. You got 30 people a year who are coming off the price that they were locked onto. Why? Because they got sold at some point on why they want to do it, right? And so, do they need that money? Is that something that they got to take to the next place? These are the things that you got to find out. So inside fact finding, this is where Grant's going to talk about figuring out exactly what the dominant buying motive is. So I want to find out, hey, if they were going to do this, if you were going to take a loss, I mean, why would you do that?
Gotcha.
Oh, well,
I usually know the story behind based off the marketing.
Okay.
They have a good idea on why and the motive why they're selling.
Uh-huh.
And a lot of times the story tends to change by the time it gets to the whole price calculation. Oh, I'm not that much in a hurry. It's not that much of a big deal.
Right. Well, why'd you hit the website?
I'm sorry?
Well, why'd you hit the website? That's what I would ask them. Yeah. Hey, no, most people aren't in a hurry right now. Most people want to hang on to their properties because that's what they're doing. Okay. I'm just agreeing with the guy. Hey, everybody's hanging on to it right now, but why'd you hit the website? Was it something you were thinking about? Were you curious about it? Were you just looking to get some information? Have you considered selling your home before?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so I'm going to go into this, like, why did you click that button that day? And this is where it comes back to everything that you see inside the follow-up program where Grant talks about, look, you have got to use these follow-up strategies as quick as possible because that's when somebody's thinking about it. Dude, somebody hits your website for insurance. Somebody hits your real estate website. Dude, I was talking to a guy today. I couldn't even believe what I was hearing from him. Look, they're not even jumping on the leads quick enough. It was a real estate guy who I'm like, he's just thinking that, oh, okay, well, they know who we are. They know that. No, dude, they don't. There's 50 million people out there doing the same thing you're doing all the time. So you're just the same noise as everybody else. You got to get to them quick, and you got to find out, why did you hit the website? Why now? Why today? Right? And that's the part of the fact finding.
Sure.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. And so what I would do then is, move on from there. Hey, hey, would you consider if I could purchase this from you today, move you into your next place, the next place you're going to move to, maybe they're thinking about moving across country. People are doing that more today than they ever have, so it's more about just finding the dominant buying motive. That's what Grant's talking about. And the only reason people buy anything or sell anything is to solve a problem. What problem are they trying to solve?
So that leads into the, sometimes I run into the, I can give you this much money, but they need X amount of money after their mortgage is paid off in order to move out. And sometimes that's just not possible.
Yeah,
so that runs into that.
So if they don't pay off that money, how are you going to get it done? How are they going to get it done?
Mm-hmm.
Figure it out.
Okay.
Figure it out, man. Figure it out. I mean, that's what I would do. Because I know people are selling their homes every single day, and they still owe a lot of money on it.
Mm-hmm.
Is that happening right now? Is that happening in the marketplace?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I would figure out, hey, what happened when they did it? And then I would say, hey, look, dude, this is what everybody's doing right now. Everybody is upside down on their properties right now. Look, they're getting out of it so they can move into something different that gives them a better deal. Okay, they're still going to be 10 grand upside down on what they're doing, but look, this is how they pay for it and handle it, and this is how we make sense of this situation. And this is why I've got thousands of people doing this right now, because this is a much smarter option. That's what you want to show them, So you got to find the solution, and you got to find the actual problem that you could solve. Okay?
All right, thank you.
All right, thanks for the call, man. Hope that helped. I got Alex. He's calling in from Ohio. Alex, how's it going? Alex. Is that Alex? Alex on there? Did we lose him?
Yeah, I think we lost him.
Okay, no problem. Guys, look, if you want to call in, look, this is what we do every single week. So what I want to do right now is I want to do a refresher of exactly what you do inside Cardone University, because I get a lot of people who call up every single week. They got different problems. There's very fundamental things that they're missing that Grant talks about inside the program. And I don't want you to discount certain parts of the program because you think that maybe you already know it, or maybe you've been in sales for a long time, and so you wouldn't need to go through there. Because I'm just going to tell you from personal experience that when I go through, there are specific courses inside here that I know they are so fundamental, and I learn more every time I go back through them. So this is why I'm always pushing you guys to go back into certain parts of the program. So John, if you'll show this to him. Look, the piece right here. So selling basics, understanding the buyer. I can't tell you how important this part of the program. I can't tell you how much this has done for me. All these different problems that I have people calling up every single week, they all start right here, okay? My computer's not loading up. But so what happens is that, look, every single problem that they have, it all starts right here. So if I know where it starts, if I can get really good at the challenge of where this thing actually starts, everything that follows that is going to be a lot easier. That's where I start to know how to flip them into the sales process. This is where I know how to handle the objection. This is where I know how to handle the cold call. This is where, maybe I'm on the customer service. Dude, there's a lot of things that you're going to understand inside understanding the buyer. You're going to get about the customer, right? About your other person. So if you guys want to call in, it's 305-865-8668. And the reason that we do this every week is so that we can help you out. We can make sure that you're winning with the program. And so whenever you have problems, whenever you have challenges, anything that happens, you'll be able to call in. And so I want you guys to focus on some very specific things for end of the year. You're probably thinking about, hey, what about all those people that I talked to this whole first half of the year? And the first part of the year. And so, John, if you want to show the screen here, I'm going to go to a piece that says follow-up. So when you go inside follow-up right here, guys, look, this part of the program is all designed so that way you can have a better understanding of what to do, how to do it. I talk to companies every single day, and they jump to these parts of the program too because they want to find out, hey, what do I say on social media? What do I do on a follow-up video? What do I do when I'm following up in an email? in a text message? What do I do on some very specific follow-up strategies? What do I do on some advanced strategies? But look, I'm telling you, use these parts of the program up here first to learn and to understand it. That way you've got a better idea of what's going on. So when you go into like mistakes of the follow-up, this is another favorite of mine. This is something that I look at all of the time. And you see the first one, you say never made the call. And you're like, well, I always make the call. Okay? Flunk. Okay? That's a flunk for you. I want you to go back and I want you to immediately watch that segment of content. And so this is where you want to be able to go in. If you think you already know it, and I want you to go into it, I'm telling you that this is going to be a very important piece for you to go to. So if you guys want to call in, there's a lot of different courses. There's a lot of challenges. There's a lot of problems that you may run into right now into the year, and we're going to be able to help you out with that. And so 305-865-8668, that is the number to call in. I've got somebody else who's calling in. I got Isaac from Ohio calling in. So we're going to take a call. Isaac, how's everything going for you?
Going great. How are y'all doing?
Dude, we're doing unbelievable, man. We appreciate you giving a call in today. What can I help you out with?
All kinds of stuff. We got all kinds of problems over here.
Dude, we love problems. We love them. Let's solve them. The best part about a problem, dude, is that you can solve it.
Got a solution. Yeah,
that's right.
Exactly.
So
hey, we're going from $1 million this year in 2016 to $10 million in the next 14 months. We're already growing.
Sounds like a pretty good problem.
We got all kinds of problems on it. Yeah, it's a big problem.
Yeah.
So, but we're already going there. We already amped up our sales this fall from we're probably doing more than half of our gross sales in the last 2 months of the year.
Okay.
So we're amping up like crazy, which, of course, is just causing all kinds of issues on all hands because everything is so new and, growth is fast. People taking on new roles.
Growing pains.
And that kind of stuff.
Growing pains. Good thing you got Cardone University to be able to help you out, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Because now you got all these people who need to know exactly what to do.
Yeah, so that's kind of my big question now. Of course, I'm trying to maintain the obsessed culture, and I'm obsessed every day. I get up and like, boom, let's do this, I've got myself well trained into thinking about the potential. I got my mind off of me. I got my mind on the potential.
Okay.
But trying to maintain that with my employees,
Yeah.
Some of my employees are like, I'm failing Isaac, and I'm not making him any money, and all that stuff. And then they out there messing around, taking way too long to get stuff done. I'm like,
yeah.
Get your mind on the potential.
Let me ask you this real quick. So you have Cardone University, right?
Yeah, I got it for me personally. I haven't got it for my team yet.
Yeah. How many people do you have on your team?
So right now it's me and Devin and Joe and John. So I got 4 people on my as far as sales and management.
Okay. And none of them have Cardone University.
Tiffany. What's that?
None of them have Cardone University.
No.
Yeah. Well, dude, let me tell you something. I got people in my office. They're like, Steve, dude, how do you get those punked up arms, dude? How do you get so jacked up all the time? Well, dude, because I'm going to the gym every day. Guess what they're not doing?
Not going to the gym.
Exactly. Guess who doesn't have punked up arms?
People that ain't going to the gym.
Exactly. So what are you going to do about it as the business owner to make sure your people are in the gym every single day?
All right. So
you probably need the gym.
Right now.
You probably need the gym. So let me ask you this, man. We want to get your number. I want to help you out. I'll show you what it looks like for us to work with you every single month.
Okay.
Okay. Well, now I want to get Isaac's number. Let me ask you this, Isaac. Other than keeping your people motivated every single day, what problem are you guys having in your company?
What problem?
Yeah.
I mean, which end of the list you want me to start on? Bottom or the top? So, no. I mean, really it boils down to sales, lead generation, lead conversion,
okay,
and then management. Those two are my biggest problems right there.
Okay. So you got
And well, inside of that problem or with that problem is finding obsessed people.
Oh, okay, good. So you got a recruiting problem.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
good. You know we do that too, right?
You do recruiting?
Absolutely.
All right.
My man.
Yeah,
Dude, hey, you called the right place
look,
because we're going to help you out. Hey, look, let's take a call after this. I'll take a call with you today, and I'll show you exactly what we
Okay.
do to help you out. I mean, guys, look, this is what Cardone University is about. Okay, so for a team, so if you're out there wondering if you got a team, if you're a business owner who's on the program and you're trying to figure out, hey, would this program be right for me? Should I invest in my people? Dude, what if you don't invest in your people? What if you don't invest in yourself, right? What if you don't do this? Okay, you're going to keep getting what you're getting right now. Problems, uncertainty in your business every single day. What's uncertainty that's happening in your business? Dude, that's uncertainty with your customers, your clients. Dude, that's not healthy for your company. And so when you use Cardone University, we're going to help you actually use this to run sales meetings every day. You want to build a culture inside your business. That's exactly what this program allows you to do, because as business owners, or even as salespeople, dude, you don't have time to flip through books. You don't have time to dig on YouTube. You need a curriculum that's laid out for you. And so this is going to bring me to my next point. Right now, Grant is doing a deal on Cardone University. So if you're already on Cardone University, this is for all of our Cardone University clients. If you're already on the program, you can actually apply that money that you already spent to the lifetime membership, which is going to be $4,995. Guys, look, I'm going to tell you just from personal experience, been on the program over 4 years. As it's built itself out, as Grant continues to create content, dude, I learn more, I pick up more. This stuff becomes a lot easier for me, and I'm understanding more as I'm going through. So if you're sitting here wondering, hey, look, I'm learning, I spent, $1,000, $2,000, whatever program you're on. Maybe you bought the $2,000 program, you got the full Cardone University, and now you're trying to figure out, okay, well, what do I do 2 years from now, 3 years from now? Look, man, I'm not going to abandon what got me to the place what got me here in the first place. I'm going to figure out, hey, how do I maximize everything that I'm doing right here and fully understand it and fully get the most out of it, man? So you guys can actually apply that $1,900 that you spent on the program to the full the actual full access for a lifetime. So guys, check that out. That's at cardoneuniversity.com. And look, what we're going to do, we're not going to stop. We're going to keep coming to you every single week. So when you guys have problems or when you guys have challenges, look, we're going to be here to help you out. So every single Wednesday we come to you live, Wednesday, 2 p.m. and we answer any questions for you. We handle any problems that you have in your business. We want you to succeed. Okay. We got a lot of people winning on this program. I had another guy who's an individual guy. He sells, he does home improvements. Okay, this is my guy, Sam, right? So Sam, what he did, he does home improvements. Okay, if you're in the home improvement business, this guy picked up, he was selling, I remember when I talked to him, he was doing like $20,000 a week in sales. First week on our program, he did $80,000 in sales. Okay, so this is a guy who's going from $20,000 a week in sales to $80,000 a week in sales. Okay, what is that going to do for you? Okay, he did 4 times what he was doing the week before just from hooking up. This is the first week on the program. So I want you to really figure out and ask yourself, hey, look, man, hey, am I digging into this thing every single day? Am I staying consistent on it every single day? Because that's what it takes to be great, okay? If you're obsessed, you'll do it every single day. You'll train every single day. You'll learn the material. And then my guy, Sam, his second week on the program, $130,000 week in sales, okay? So the difference between him doing $20K a week and him doing probably more over the next 2 weeks in sales than he did probably the past couple months was huge for him, dude. But you guys got to commit first. You guys got to commit to doing it. You got to get in there every single day. And that's why we come to you, to make sure that you're connecting what you're learning with your business and you guys are winning every single week. Guys, so my name's Steve Spray. I'm going to keep coming to you every Wednesday. You guys have an unbelievable week, and we'll see you back here next Wednesday.